The day I finally looked at my debt was the day I stopped feeling trapped, not because the debt disappeared, not because I suddenly had more money, but because I finally knew what I was dealing with. For months, maybe even years, I was doing what millions of people do every day, ignoring statements, avoiding account balances, hoping the numbers would somehow improve on their own. Every notification from my bank felt stressful. Every unexpected expense felt like a crisis. And the worst part was that the anxiety followed me everywhere. Here's what nobody talks about. Debt isn't just a money problem. It's a mental burden. The longer you avoid it, the bigger it becomes in your imagination. Most people think they're protecting themselves by not looking. In reality, they're giving fear complete control over their finances. Today, I'm going to show you the exact process that helped me stop avoiding my debt, take back control, and create a realistic plan to eliminate it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much you owe, which payoff strategy fits your personality, and how to start making real progress immediately. If you're ready to stop stressing about money and start controlling it, hit that like button, subscribe to the Daily Yield, and let's begin. The first thing you need to understand is that avoiding debt is completely normal. Your brain is wired to avoid threats and discomfort. When you know you owe money, but don't know exactly how much, your mind treats that uncertainty as a danger signal. Instead of confronting it, many people choose distraction. That's why unopened envelopes pile up. That's why people avoid logging in to credit card accounts. That's why some individuals can tell you the score of last night's game, but can't tell you how much debt they have. It's not laziness. It's emotional self-preservation. The problem is that avoidance creates a hidden tax on your life. Every time you think about money, your stress level increases. Every purchase creates guilt. Every paycheck feels smaller than it should. You begin living with a constant background hum of anxiety. What's interesting is that most people discover the truth isn't as bad as their imagination. The unknown is usually scarier than reality. When debt stays hidden, your brain fills in the blanks with worst-case scenarios. The balance feels larger. The situation feels hopeless. The future feels uncertain. This is why financial freedom starts with awareness, not payments. Before you make a budget, before you cut expenses, and before you pick a payoff strategy, you must know exactly what you're dealing with. Think about it this way. If your doctor told you there was a problem but refused to show you the test results, you'd be terrified. But once you saw the numbers and understood the treatment plan, the fear would immediately decrease. Debt works the same way. The moment you stop hiding from the numbers, you take away debt's greatest weapon, uncertainty. And that's where real progress begins. Now, it's time to face the numbers. This is the step that scares most people, but it's also the step that creates the biggest sense of relief. Grab a notebook, spreadsheet, or even a blank sheet of paper. Then open every debt account you have: credit cards, personal loans, auto loans, medical bills, student loans, everything. For each debt, write down 4 pieces of information: the creditor's name, the current balance, the interest rate, and the minimum monthly payment. That's it. Do not overcomplicate this process. You're not creating a perfect financial plan today. You're creating visibility. As you gather the information, resist the urge to judge yourself. This is where many people get stuck. They start replaying old decisions and criticizing themselves for mistakes they can't change. That accomplishes nothing. The debt already exists. The only question now is what you're going to do about it. Once every balance is listed, add up the total and take a deep breath. Whether the number is $5,000, $25,000, or $100,000, remember something important. The number doesn't change because you looked at it. The debt was already there. The difference is that now you know exactly what you're fighting. This list becomes your financial scoreboard. Athletes check the scoreboard. Businesses track performance metrics. Investors monitor their portfolios. You need a scorecard too. Most people never escape debt because they're operating with incomplete information. They know they're struggling, but they don't know why. Your debt inventory changes that. For the first time, you'll have a complete snapshot of your financial reality. Once you have clarity, you can start making strategic decisions instead of emotional ones. Once your debt inventory is complete, it's time to choose a strategy. The first option is called the Debt Snowball. This method became popular because it focuses on psychology rather than mathematics. You organize all your debts from smallest balance to largest balance. Then you make minimum payments on every account except the smallest one. Every extra dollar goes toward that smallest debt. When that balance reaches zero, you take the entire payment amount and roll it into the next smallest debt. Then the next. Then the next. This creates a snowball effect. Each victory builds momentum. Each payoff increases confidence. Each eliminated account simplifies your finances. The biggest advantage of the snowball method is motivation. Most people don't fail because they don't understand math. They fail because they lose enthusiasm halfway through the journey. The snowball method solves that problem by creating quick wins. If you're someone who gets motivated by crossing goals off a list and seeing visible progress, the snowball method may be exactly what you need. The second strategy is called the Debt Avalanche. Unlike the snowball method, this approach focuses entirely on efficiency. Instead of organizing debts by balance size, you organize them by interest rate. The highest interest rate debt becomes your top priority. You make minimum payments on everything else, while directing every extra dollar toward the most expensive debt first. By eliminating high-interest debt first, you reduce the amount of money lost to interest charges over time. Mathematically, this is usually the best strategy. However, there isn't a universally correct answer. The best payoff method isn't necessarily the one that saves the most money. The best payoff method is the one you'll actually continue using. The biggest breakthrough in debt repayment doesn't happen when you make your final payment. It happens the moment you stop hiding. That's the day everything changes. Debt freedom begins with awareness. Write down every debt. Choose your payoff method. Make your next payment with purpose. Don't worry about becoming debt-free overnight. Focus on becoming debt-free eventually. Progress compounds. Confidence compounds. Momentum compounds. Before the end of today, create your debt inventory. No excuses. No delays. No more avoidance. Then drop a comment below and tell me which strategy you're choosing. Debt Snowball or Debt Avalanche? If this video helped you take the first step toward financial freedom, hit the like button. Subscribe to the Daily Yield because we are building real financial progress one step at a time.